it is Diane with Diane's BlueHeartsAndButterflies.com, and for the May class, did a special class where we made a set of 10 cards and a kind of card box to carry them in. And so this is the video to show how to put together the card box for the set of cards. And all of the directions as far as the cutting dimensions and stuff are over on my blog, as well as a little template kind of a view of how you're supposed to cut the pockets. When you do open this box up, you'll notice that there are two diagonal cut boxes. So these two boxes are put together and then put on the base. And the boxes mirror each other so that you don't cut them the exact same way, you cut them the opposite ways. So I wanted to kind of be able to share how to put this together, and then you can get all of the dimensions and everything on my blog at Diane'sBlueHeartsAndButterflies.com. So we can go over the pieces that we will need. There are two of these pieces that you will use for the pockets. You will need 12-inch cardstock to be able to do this. And these are each one is cut at 6 3/4 by 12 inches. And we'll go over the scoring here in just a moment. You will have another large piece of the coordinating cardstock. This is 5 7/8 by 12 inches. And this is what you'll use to make the outside of the card box. You will also need some designer series paper, and you'll need two of them that is cut at 4 1/2 by 5 1/2, and then you will need two also that are cut to 2 inches by 5 1/2 inches. Now, if you do want to have this part to be a cardstock layer, so that you would actually have another layer. This would be a color layer, and then have your designer series paper. You could cut these two pieces at 4 1/4 by 5 1/4, and the same with the spine pieces. This kind of goes on the inside and the outside. If you want to make this a cardstock layer, then you could cut the designer series paper to go on top of that at 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. So, and I do have those dimensions on the blog post. So the quickest, easiest one to do is the outside of the card box. And so let's go ahead and start by scoring on that one. Again, this is the Stampin' Up's trimmer. This blade, the darker blade, is for cutting, and the lighter blade is for scoring, so that you can do this all on one thing without having to bring out a separate scoreboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to move this over so it's still on the screen. And this is like I said, the outer spine or outside part. So you're going to score this in landscape, which is the long side, along the long side, at 4 7/8. And you want to make sure that you use your lighter colored scoring blade and not the cutting blade. And then you'll move this over to 7 1/8 and score again. And that will make the outer part of the box. Now the other part, you will do one of them the way that I'm going to show here, and then the other one is in reverse. And I won't go over all of that because I did want to get to the pockets. But again, in landscape, this is for one of the pockets. It's going to be at 1 inch, and then 5 3/4. Sorry, wait, 5 3/4. I wanted to double check. And then the next is 6 3/4. And these have the markings across the top, make it easy for you to be able to see. And then the next one at 11 1/2. And then this one that you started with the 1 inch, you're going to take and turn this 90 degrees so that it is the 1 inch score line is here, and you're going to score at 1 inch along the bottom. Okay. I will quickly go over this other one just so that you can see. So this one has, and it's maybe hard to see, I'm going to try to turn it. There's a 1 inch, and then there's this 5 3/4 and 6 3/4, and then this one at 11 1/2 basically leaves a 1/2 inch piece here. And then we're basically going to do exactly opposite. Now I'm going to start mine on this other side because it's really too hard for me to hold a 1/2 inch on the left side when I close the trimmer. So what I'm actually going to do is line this up and do the 1/2 inch score line on this other side, and then I'm going to flip it around. So we're going to have our 1/2 inch score line toward the left hand side, and then so it's a 1/2 inch. Then you go over to 5 1/4 and you will score. Then you will do 6 1/4. And in here there are some scored lines or embedded lines that make it easier for you to be able to line up where that needs to go in here. 6 1/4. And then you'll go over to 11. And the first one we did 11 1/2, so this one's 11. So you're going to end up with the 1/2 inch on this side and the 1 inch on this side. Again, you're going to turn this 90 degrees so that the 1/2 inch score line is up here, and you'll score another line at the bottom for the base, the bottom of the box, and this is at 1 inch again. So basically these two mirror each other. The 1 inch is on this side and the 1/2 inch is on this side, and then on this one the 1/2 inch is on this side and the 1 inch is on this side. The middle ones and the bottom are the same. So in order to save a little bit of time, I am going to go ahead and bring out a different colored one that I was already working with so that I could kind of show you. I'm hoping the green can show a little bit better. So on this one, on each of them, we are going to take a ruler and a pencil, and I've already kind of done this. You line this up and you mark at 4 inches on, this is the 1/2 inch piece, so it's 4 inches, and then again along this first score line at 4 inches again. And then you're going to just draw straight across right there. And then at the other end where the 1 inch is, again, you're going to come down from the top of the box. This is the 1 inch score line down here. You're going to come down, measure 4 inches, and then again on this side at 4 inches, and you're going to draw straight across. Now, on the side that has the 1/2 inch, and this is just the side that is going to create the diagonal, where this other side, we're just going to be cutting it off straight. So this will be the back and this will be the front. So at this 4 inch mark, you're going to line up, and you can do this with a pencil and cut it with scissors, or if you would like, you can even cut it with the trimmer. And you're going to want to make sure that you have a good eraser for your pencil lines. That one I just moved. It's probably going to be easier for me to do this in the trimmer. But
next, please.
Hold on one moment. Okay, so my line kind of came across wrong, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that in the trimmer. But what you will be doing is with your snips or your scissors, you will cut straight across where you made your mark here. And then you're going to go straight up this score line from this point. And this is on the 1 inch scored piece, and we're creating the back and the edge of this. This one is the 1/2 inch, and you're going to cut straight across here to that score line. And then I'm going to actually bring in my trimmer, and I'm going to line up where this score line is, and then go up to the top of the next score line and get that in the track. I think I'm going to need to move it down just a little bit. Get that in the track, and then this one down here in the track, and then I can close this, use the dark cutting blade, and just cut that straight down. And then you can erase your pencil mark once you're done so that it can be done. So what you're going to end up with is one that's going this way and one that's going this way. Now I'm going to set this one aside just so that I can show you after you've cut that diagonal off and you've cut this piece off, you're actually going to go ahead and cut off this little 1/2 inch tab. You're going to make a little bit of a slight wedge here, and then you're going to make a slight wedge here up to the 1 inch score line at the bottom, and here, and then again on this side here. Now this becomes your back. This is the front. This is how this kind of goes together. Now what I'm going to do is put tear and tape. Since the box will probably be used a lot, I want to make sure that it's got a good strong glue. And so I'm going to put that on this tab here. Then when you lay this, you fold it at the first score line. No, it's not. Hold on. Got it backwards. Fold this piece over. And then this piece, which is the back, you'll go to that score line where the back folds over, and then you'll be able to have these two tabs right here line up. So you would take off the backing to your tear and tape. Sometimes you have to really burnish that to get it to stick. And then you peel off the backing. Of course, today is the day I'm going to have trouble with it. So let me bring in my take your pick tool so I can just get up underneath there and grab that. And then again, fold it at this score line that is closest to the back. And then when you fold that down, it should line exactly up with this. And when it kind of opens, then now you have this. And then what I would recommend you do is to put tear and tape on these little pieces here. And you're also going, when you put that in, you're going to do the back side first. So the one that has the long side, you're going to put that one in first. Then you'll put some tear and tape along this side. And this is from the front. And then you'll adhere it there. So that when it goes together, you're not seeing a kind of a line here. So let me just do that real quick so you can see what I was talking about. You're going to just take a little bit of the tear and tape and put on your tabs on these two. And a little bit more. Just want to make sure that it sticks down. Again, I'll bring out the take your pick tool to get up underneath there. It's just so much easier. Even with fingernails, sometimes it's hard to get those to peel away from the tape without pulling the tape back off. And then I'll do that again on this side. And if your tear and tape kind of went a little too far, you can always fold that back in on itself and be able to well, that one's wanting to peel the whole thing. Hold on. Try to get that up under there in the middle, kind of, so that it doesn't peel the tape. Okay, got that out of there. So then, again, you will fold these two pieces in first, and then you'll fold the back side over those. Now, in order to get a good crisp thing, you can use a ruler, you can use a bone folder like I'm doing, just to kind of push down those tabs onto this piece. Then you'll put your other tear and tape on this, and I put it out towards the edge so that it will hold and stick the end of it toward the back, and it just holds it down really nice. Then again, you can use a bone folder or a ruler, or maybe even the tip of the, take your pick tool and be able to create that pocket. Then, once you've got your pockets ready, and I'm just doing this quickly, you do go ahead, and this is the base that you put the, scored it 2 times there in the middle, and we're just going to put our, just ran out on that one, hold on. I'm using the Stampin' Seal Plus. I like it really well. It's very permanent, and it has little slits in the adhesive that make it tear really well, really easily. So I'm just putting these here. Makes it a little easier to do before you put the pockets on, to go ahead and put your thing. If it does hang over a little bit, you can go ahead and fold that over with your finger. Sometimes I have that happen a lot. It's also good if you have one of the silicone craft sheets that you could even do put the glue on your items with that underneath it, so that there's no glue that's going to adhere to your table or work surface or anything else that you're using. I'm going to finish this one here. The one on the inside is easy to do even after it's put together, so I'm not going to do that one right now. I did have a little glue that stuck over. And again, you just line it up. If you wanted this to be a cardstock layer, then you could put the cardstock and then put the designer series paper. I just did this. So this one is the back, and it's going to go so that the diagonal faces inside. And then you're going to want to put some, I used again the tear and tape because it was just a lot more sturdy than the other glues, and you can do that fairly simply when you are just working with your hands. And I'll put another one right in here, and then again I also added a little bit of a diagonal across here, and then we just peel these off. Oh, that one came up again. wanted this to go fairly quickly, and it's taking a little bit of time because, of course, it happens when you're trying to record something. And get this off. And then finally get this piece up. It's bringing up the glue. There we go. Oh, of course, a little bit stuck over here. I was using up an older roll, so let me see if I can get that to come off. There we go, finally. So then you'll take this piece and you're going to want to line up the bottom with the bottom of this, and then the line here next to but not over that score line. So you kind of hover this over and get it placed where you'd like for it to be. Kind of line it up across the bottom and along that score line. I could tell I didn't cut a very straight line there. And then I again just used the bone folder to kind of help push down on that tape. And then you would add the other one over here. And then you can make a belly band to go around that if you would like. Or like I chose to do is I like working with Velcro dots or magnets or something like that because it just makes for a really impressive, neat closure. And so on this project, I did use the Velcro dots. So what I did, these have glue backings on each side, and I got the ones that are pretty much see-through. So I took one side and I peeled that off, and then I kind of just lined that up over along the side. And then when you get your other pocket put together and put it over here, then all you basically do when you have this here is you peel this backing off and you just fold it over, lining up your bottoms and this outer edge, the outer side, and you just kind of push that together. You can use again your bone folder or your fingers or whatever, and then it just lines those up across from each other so that it makes it a really neat closure. And then you can put all of your cards in there when you're done. You can give this away as a gift or have it if you wanted to put a whole bunch of different types of cards. You could even put a label on here for thank yous or birthdays or whatever. And I just really liked this, and I thank Trisha Morris for the person that I got the idea from, for her putting this all together and coming up with the measurements. I really appreciated it, and I hope that you enjoyed this and you'll be able to and join me in following through and making some more for yourself. And also, if you will check out my blog at dianesblueheartsandbutterflies.com to get more ideas and information. I do teach a class locally once a month, and that's what my blog is usually based on. And I hope that you'll come back and join me and check out my YouTube channel for more videos. Thank you.